Do you want to move your life forward in the most positive way using astrology? Then let's talk about the astrological patterns for June 2019. June is preparation for the big activity that's going to take place in July. In July, we have 2 eclipses and we also have Mercury going retrograde. And the eclipse pattern in July will be in Cancer and in Capricorn. And this is really, I think, on a larger level, igniting the concept that perhaps we can be successful, perhaps we can be involved in business, maybe even big business, and we can also have a heart. We can also have compassion. Now, this eclipse pattern, which will continue several different times in Cancer and Capricorn, will highlight that again and again and again. More about that later. The bottom line is that June prepares us for some big activity in July. So we begin on June 3rd with a new moon in Gemini, and this is an important new moon. Watch my video for more information on it, but it's really focusing on how do we connect intuition and intellect. Do we separate the two? Do we allow them to coexist? Do we accept our intuition and move forward with that? That's the important message from that new moon. And the next day, June 4th, we have Mercury entering Cancer, and it's going to stay in Cancer for the entire month, joining Mars in Cancer. Now, what this does, starting in early June, is really creates a background energy of compassion, sensitivity, sentimental energy, family energy, emotional energy, despite the fact that the sun is in Gemini. So we need to understand that emotions will be running high, sensitivity will be high. Maybe that's a good thing, but you know, there's so much volatility happening right now with women's issues and politics and so forth. We need to be in control of our own emotions and not go too far getting out of balance with that. On June 9th, we have Venus entering Gemini, and perhaps that's going to lighten things up just a bit. Perhaps that will create more of that sense of humor and connection with people in that lighthearted frame of mind. And then on June 10th, we have the Sun opposite Jupiter in Sagittarius, and that can be just spectacular. Our intellect and our wit and our charm and our communication energy merging with this expansive, happy energy of Jupiter. So if you have something new that you want to launch in your life, you might want to focus right around that time when the Sun is opposite Jupiter. This leads us to a very important part of the month. On June 17th, we have a full moon in Sagittarius. This is a whopper full moon. It is so complex with so many different threads of energy flowing through. During this full moon, I urge you very strongly to be mindful of your words because there's sparky energy. You could get ignited. You could say something that you regret later. You want to hold yourself accountable for the words that you say, and not only between people that you care about in your life, but the words that you say in your own mind. Are you energizing a negative reality? Are you saturating your energy in frustration or anger? Because probably there's going to be a lot to be upset about in the world. But we still have to mind where we send our energy and what future we energize on a daily basis. But please understand, around that full moon, if you say something sharp-tongued or sarcastic or angry or emotional, if you let that take over, you will be held accountable for that. And you're going to have to deal with that. So be mindful. Take a deep breath. Pause for a moment. Connect your heart with your mind and let that flow. The next big marker point in June is going to be on the 27th when Mercury enters Leo. Remember, in July, Mercury is going to turn retrograde, and it's going to turn retrograde in the sign Leo, but it's going to scoot back into Cancer. So it's not done visiting Cancer yet. More about that in my next video. So to summarize the astrological patterns for June, remember on the 3rd we have that new moon in Gemini, and we get to energize our thoughts and our communication at that time. On the 4th, Mercury enters Cancer. Our thinking goes intuitive and sensitive and compassionate, and it's going to flow with Mars the entire month. Mind your solar plexus, mind your heart, mind your emotions. On the 9th, we have Venus entering Gemini. That will lighten the mood a bit, which is so wonderful. And then on the 10th, we have Sun opposite Jupiter, which can be expansive and happy and lighthearted. That's a great time to frolic, by the way. It's my favorite word. And then we have the full moon on the 17th, that big, powerful full moon in Sagittarius, where you get to become very mindful of what you say and how you energize your thoughts with emotions. And then Mercury entering Leo toward the end of the month, getting ready to go retrograde in July. Just remember, June is preparing us for very deep spiritual work that will happen in July. June is a very important month, and there's a lot of emotions swirling. The bottom line for this month is don't take yourself too seriously. Don't take the world too seriously. Remember to laugh, because that will help so much. Otherwise, we're all going to be a bit soggy with all of that watery energy swirling around. I wish you the very best in June. Thank you. I'm Kathy Rose.